All right. Let's do a run through. Let's wait for people to say hello. Mr. Mike, hello, hello. Got strange static sound on stream. Okay, I'm looking at all of the... You sure it's not just my mic? And it was near a blower or something. I'm looking at all the bars for the audio. None of them are going up and down other than my mic. And if I stop talking, that completely goes down. There's a teeny tiny little bit of static coming from the gaming PC. Maybe that's it. Turn it down a little bit. Right, can you hear that? Is that gone? Okay, that's minus 12 decibels, and I don't think it's registering now. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to run through the pack quickly, just to show you guys what you need to apply and what's new. So we'll wait for a couple more people to jump on. SJ, thank you for the follow. And we'll get a couple more people on. I'll kick this off. Boot up and follow along. Okay. Yeah, it gives you a chance to do that. It should be pretty quick because I've optimized everything as quick as much as I can now for kind of press one button, loads of things happen at the same time. So, and I've automated a lot of the decision stuff that you used to have to do. So it should be easy to apply now, which means yeah, I saw the new drivers were out today as well, but I was looking through the list of things that have changed and I didn't see anything particularly applicable. I don't know. Murph, what changes did you make in the keyboard and mouse script? So you have a look at the output afterwards, but according to Premium ChatGPT, that's the ultimate keyboard and mouse gaming script now. So spent a lot of time with Premium ChatGPT 5 working on that. So you tell me. And I've got an undo script if you don't like it. Put everything back to Windows. So either way. Yeah, audit poll was already in the automated script, but I stripped out the whole section in the guide about it. So audit poll was just yeah, as part of the basic tweak script, it automatically backs up your old audit poll into a CSV file, then it just clears it all. So I didn't see a need for having that in the guide, given it was just confusing whether you needed to do something or not. So it should automatically create an old audit policy file when you run it, which is a copy of what the previous settings were. So whenever, and also as part of the new script, I'm backing up the BCD every time you run that. So that gives a backup of that too, so you can go back on that. I did have some log things in here, but that's not being used at the moment. So I'll wait for Mike to tell me he's on, and then he can follow along. I won't join the Discord because I only want me talking for this bit because I think I want to post the VOD for just this. What I'll do is I'll get to the end, I'll stop, and then I'll post the VOD of me going through this, and then people can use it as a reference. You ready? Okay. All right, 2 Discord notifications. I don't know what that means. All right. Right, so yeah, new pack. So unzip it. So download it from the Discord. Unzip it. So put it wherever you want. What I normally do is after I've unzipped it, I go into this one and I right click and pin to quick access. That just puts it over there, just makes it a lot easier. So we'll start with the Windows stuff. So in here, there's a new menu. There's a new menu that can run all of these automatically for you. So you right click that and you go run as administrator. Okay. In the middle of this greenish. Right, so this basically is just an automated menu. It picks up any command files or script files in the same directory and puts them into a menu system. So it's quite useful. This I can use this for other things later if I expand things out. But this menu is just for the Windows bit. I didn't do one for the networking. I didn't do one for the GPU because GPU is a bit fiddly. You have to edit files first, and the networking is only one script anyway. It's all in one script, so I didn't bother putting them in here for now. So this is just the Windows one. So you run this menu command by right-clicking it, run as administrator, and then you've got the option to either run a specific one just by putting in a number, or you can do run all with the letter A. So if you put letter A in, yeah, and then it'll ask you to do you want to do a system restore point? Depending on how often you do restore points, it might not let you do one more than like 24 hours. Yeah, I already created one 24 hours ago for that one, so it's not letting me do it. So it's now going to go through each one of these scripts here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, automatically. So not having to touch anything. So yeah, Zeppo, you can see here that it's backed up the old audit policy and then reset it. So it's automatically done that. Yeah, so that's all done. So that's that first one done. So to get to the next one, all I do now is press any key. So if I press spacebar, it'll then kick off the next one. That'll do the BCD edit one. This is the second one. Ignore the first two errors. They're basically just checking that something's removed. And if it can't already find them, they've already been removed. That's why there are 2 errors in that one. This script has been modified so that it can tell whether you're running it on Windows 11 or Windows 12. Oh, sorry, Windows 11 or Windows 10. And if it's Windows 10, it does some slightly different commands. So this will auto-detect which commands to run depending on which operating system you're running on. So you can ignore those 2 because it's just trying to delete something that's not already there. So that one's done. And as I said, that creates backups, readable dump file, and the actual BCD. So if you needed to restore it ever, you could go and find those files and restore what you had before. So that's finished. So press spacebar again. It's on the third one now. One takes a little bit of time between applying it. There we go, done. Let's check that those are the values at the end. They're the ones you want. Press spacebar again to the next one. This new time one, time sync, what it does is it creates a scheduled task. So in Task Scheduler, it's just automated creating a new time sync scheduled task. So when you log onto the computer, it'll go out to the internet. It'll trigger this time sync thing, and it will go to a really active, really precise time server on the internet. What's the I can't remember the word, but these are all really precise. And if one's not up, it will try the other one. If that one's not up, it will try the next one. So this is basically making your clock incredibly accurate, which, if it's in sync with the server, helps with desync, and it helps with hit reg. So there's a really good addition, this. So that's a good one. So that will create that, as I say, that will create the scheduled task. And then the last one is the new keyboard and mouse one. I've done some updates to that this morning. So if you ran this on 80 version 80 or 80.1, then download 80.2 and just get the latest one. You can see what it's doing. It's setting mouse and keyboard cue size. It's still using 40. You can try 30, you can try 20, but 40 is a safe number. Disable raw mouse input throttling, applied HID raw input tweaks, disable mouse acceleration and ensured constant curves, reduce keyboard delay and set max repeat speed, apply game-friendly keyboard repeat and disable filter keys revert, applied advanced hit. So this is the script I was working with ChatGPT on with this morning. I was getting it to confirm that these are the best settings for gaming. So if you don't like it, take it up with ChatGPT or just me, and then I'll take it up with ChatGPT. So that's once that's all applied, and then you're done, and you're back to the main menu again. The only way out of this menu is press Q for quit. So that's all the Windows ones. That should be pretty easy to do. Hopefully Mike managed to follow along with that. Next, oh, if you do want to revert your mouse, the mouse one, then I put something in the miscellaneous folder called undo keyboard tweaks. That sets everything back to Windows defaults. So if you want to have a play with the new one and you don't like it, you can always go back to Windows defaults. Whatever you're comfortable with. Put that in there, verified that it works. So that should be good. You only ever need to run this if you run version 76 and don't want the counter, and it messed up the performance counters. So you don't need to run this unless you've got problems. Right, so the other main one I've changed, the other main script is the networking one in the networking tab. So I've before I had a gaming one and a streaming one, and you kind of chose between each one. This one gives you a sub menu and gives you options within the sub menu. So if you go into network directory and then go into network tweaks and then run as administrator, look at that. It will run through a load of stuff. Here it detects what version of Windows you're running. Shows you what the previous settings were. And then sets your congestion provider to CTCP, and it kind of goes through all the things that it's doing. Yeah, so that one's Windows 11 only, so that doesn't get run for if you're running this on Windows 10. Sets dynamic port ranges. And then you get a little submenu at the end. So in this submenu, it lets you change the auto tuning level. So in the guide, I did a little benchmark results chart of how much it, for me, it affects bandwidth and how much it affected how much the CPU was interrupted when it was doing downloading. So the less it interrupts the CPU, the lower the latency. So you got the options of disabled, which is basically for pro gaming PCs, which is what I'm using at the moment. So what you can do is apply one of these, go into benchmark, and then run a speed test. I don't know which one you want to run. I'm just thinking that's gonna really want it to show that. Come on. So this will kind of run the test. So at the moment I'm running disabled and my internet should be 945. So you can see by running the disabled one, I've lost a bit of bandwidth for download, but it's the lowest latency when you're gaming. So I can put up with losing like 100 megabits a second, but you might not be able to. So that's the disabled option. Normal is basically the default option for Windows. That will give you your maximum download, but probably your worst latency. And then highly restricted option is kind of a compromise between the two. It gives you pretty good download speeds and it gives you pretty good latency. So for most people, I would suggest number 2 option. But if you've got a bare bones gaming PC that you don't do any streaming on and you only care about gaming and it doesn't drop your download speed too much, you can go with disabled. Does that make sense? So I've put some kind of descriptions in the options here. So I'm going to stick with disabled for my auto tuning window. But I would recommend most people go with highly restricted, and that's actually the default. So if you just press enter, it will give you 2 anyway. So you hit that and then you should be done. So there's a thing at the end saying, if you see a big drop in download speed, rerun the script, and then test a different auto tuning level. Try a different one. If it changes the download speed too much. That's the way of testing. You may need to reboot each time you make that change. You definitely, if you don't reboot, what you do have to do is you definitely have to close the app that you're testing in to re-establish the connection parameters and then reopen it. So you definitely need to do that. You might need to reboot. Safest to reboot. And that's it. I mean, that's it. It's pretty much, they're the only real changes. Got buffer bloat tests. So buffer bloat, disabled should be the best, then highly restricted, then normal. So I went with number 2. I still have 700 downloads. But yeah, it's a really good compromise, number 2. I would say one thing about buffer bloat, right? It's not just your router and your computer that is affecting this. It's also the network card that's in your computer, right? So if I take out my 10 gigabit a second network card, external network card from my streaming PC and stick it in my gaming PC, which I don't really want to do because then I have to share bandwidth with the GPU. But if I did that, these would both be 0 because it's much, much better network card. So I'm currently using one of the 2 network cards built into my motherboard, which is why I'm only getting A's and not A pluses. If I was to leave everything the same, the computer settings the same, the router settings the same, my internet service provider the same, and only moved across the physical network card and run the same test, you get much better results. So it's a really high impact of what network card you're running this through, whether it's the one on your motherboard, whether it's the external one, which one it is on your motherboard. This motherboard's got 2 network cards. It's got an Intel one and it's got a Realtek one. I'm using the Realtek one and I've turned off the Intel one, as the Intel one's slower. So yeah, so don't be too disappointed if you don't get kind of A+ on this. You might not be able to because you might be restricted on the network cards you're running. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so what else we got? So after that's all applied, reboot and retest. Make sure your latency mon numbers are where they were before or even better. Mine's 1.41 and 0.57 at the moment. I have seen it under 1.4 before, but that's pretty good for for AMD. You can see where your if you've run my script to allocate the different interrupts. You can see I've put my GPU interrupts on core 6 and 7, and you can see I've put the why have I yeah, that makes sense. And in the controller for my input devices, I put on core 4 and 5. So you can see here on core 4 and 5, when I move my mouse, these ISR numbers go up because that's what I've put 4 and 5 for this. And you can see on 6 and 7, if you look here, the NVIDIA ones and DX ones, they're graphic card drivers, so they're going to be the highest. So you can see it's moved that load, those loads away from core 0 onto their own cores. So that should be good. That's all fine. The other thing I like to do is I like to double check that my synthetic benchmark results are pretty much all the same as they normally are. This one should be, I know for me, should be about 15 seconds. These are mostly affected by your hardware and your BIOS configuration, by the way. In the new pack, in the new guide, I've listed my latest BIOS settings in there for AMD, which you can copy, and it's also got my old Intel settings in the guide. I updated all that section, which you can copy and use as a reference as well. So you can give that a try. But yeah, so that's about right. So I'm about 15 seconds, which is what I'm usually am. The other one I normally try is PY prime. Hang on, give me a second. I'll be back in a sec. What? Sorry about that. So this one's a measure of basically how fast your memory is. Lower the score, the faster your memory. That is a bit high, actually. Why is that a bit high today? Yeah, 1.294. It is a bit high. Maybe because it's a really hot day and the timing. All right, what I'll do a quick reboot because we just applied all those settings. Slowed my speed. Buffer bloot showed my speed at fire, but my speed text. Well, if you're using the disabled option, you said you were using the second one, didn't you? Yeah. Depends what you're connecting to, but yeah, that is weird. What should I disable on my M5 BIOS? Well, you have to get my guide to have a look. See what it says in my guide. Well, I can show you what I'm running. Is your RAM 9XA die? I'm running CL26. If you do exclamation mark PC, you can see what speed I'm on. And that's actually wrong. I need to update that. It's 5.6 gigahertz. I've overclocked it too. I only need the BIOS settings. Well, the BIOS settings is quite a lot. I'd say half of tuning is the BIOS settings. Only. Yeah, it depends on your CPU though. I mean, a lot of the time, it's not just the motherboard, massively dependent on CPU and memory. But again, in my guide, I show you my BIOS settings and I show you my memory settings. So if you want to know, have a look in my guide. Also, on the Discord, there's a whole big section on memory tuning in the premium section. All right, so hopefully that should be better. Check my memory now. I don't know whether it is because it's a hot day. Have a look. 2 minutes. That's a bit lower. There we go, 6.6 now, so way quicker. Maybe it was just because I set the memory timings when the computer was still quite warm, and I've cooled it down with my cooler. So 6.6 is good. Happy with that. It's one of the lowest I've ever got, in fact, look. One of the lowest ever I've got. I've had a 6585 before. Not sure that was stable though. But yeah, it's a really good quick way of testing whether everything's better, worse, the same, and then you know whether it's your computer or not, or whether it's the game or not, and then if you then have issues. So this is just a quick way of just sanity testing that everything's looking good. Hey, Gavin. Yeah, so my memory is 6,200 on CL26. So really low latency. But as I say, there's a whole section on the premium bit of the Discord on memory tuning. So do you think some of your tweaks are placebo? No. Because I literally test before and after benchmarks, every single one of them. So no, I've got, if you go again, if you go in the premium section of my Discord, I've got a section in there called ATD benchmarks, and you can see that it's basically a treasure trove of benchmark results of everything. There's a lot of different information. There's a lot of disinformation is what there is. Because nobody seems to test apart from me and Frithy. We're the only people that actually seem to actually test anything. Properly, I might add. So yeah. So I show you guys every day that I'm running pretty much 480 stable FPS in Fortnite. You can see my benchmark results. Pretty transparent that my performance is good. Let's talk about the car. Well, no, I want to have this video on showing what to do to people, and then I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to run some games with Mike. So if you've got any questions on anything else on the actual scripts, anybody got any questions on the scripts? Which is what I'm doing this for. If not, I'm going to stop the stream and I'm going to go and play some. I'll post the how to VOD in the Discord. Yeah, I think we're about to game. What is time sync all about? It's basically making sure your clock on your computer is as accurate to the millisecond as possible. Because if your computer and the server are in sync, and most servers do have time syncs running daily, if those are in sync, you're less likely to get desync, and you're more likely to get better hit rate. So my time sync script, what it's doing is it's just basically creating a scheduled task that every time you start up the computer every day, it will go onto the internet and sync your time exactly to the milliseconds. So yeah, this one. So that just creates a scheduled task to go and sync your time. It's a good one, that one. I don't think anyone else is really doing that. It always amazed me really that Windows by default doesn't do that. Why wouldn't Windows by default sync your time when you log in? That's always amazed me that Microsoft never put that in part of Windows. So I have. I want to, but you have BCDS. I'm on Windows 10 and timer resolution changed itself. Yeah, but timer resolution doesn't work properly on Windows 10. So it's broken. You can set it to half a millisecond. Sorry, yeah, you can set it to 0.5 or thereabouts, but it won't be working. Not on Windows 10, it won't. So all of my tweaks are focused on the operating system that most people have, most people get when they buy a gaming computer, which is Windows, at the moment, Windows 11 Home. So that's what the majority of people get. Most people don't then go away and change what operating system they have. So Windows 10 is about to be made redundant by Microsoft support in October. So in a month or so. So in a couple of months, Windows 10 will no longer get any Windows updates for security, bug fixes, performance, anything. So you want to be on Windows 11 by now. You really do want to be on Windows 11. Whether or not you go with Windows 24H2 or, 25H2 is going to be coming out soon. But you want to be on Windows 11, and then your timer resolution will actually work properly. You can see my timer. I wrote my own tool for a timer resolution tester. I wrote my own tool. I couldn't be bothered using anybody else's. So it basically tells you what timer resolution you set, what power plan you're currently running, because that will depend. Power plan has different power plans, and different settings within the power plan will dictate what your best timer resolution is. So if you run the test, you can then compare different power plans, and you compare different settings, and you can compare different timer resolutions. And then I've got it so it has a little leaderboard, and then you can work out, yes, I want to be going, that's the lowest average delta. I'm going to go with that power plan and that timer resolution. So I wrote my own tool to do this. So that's mine. And then you can repeat it, as I say, you just then go and change what power plan you're running. So if I now change to balance, for example, refresh, we're now on balance, and you can rerun the test again, and you can compare different power plans, you can compare different timer resolutions, and you can see which one gives you the best result. Yeah, I did that in the green bar. So the balance one, that's not quite as good as this one. So not quite as good as this one. So you know this one's still winning, and you can change your timer resolution to whatever value you want. Apply that. Go and run this again. Refresh all. Run it again, etc., etc. It's like a mini game. But yeah, really, really useful this. The one thing I did do, you won't get as good standard deviations anymore because I don't use the primary thread, so it doesn't get stuck anymore. I use like a background thread, so it doesn't never get stuck anymore now, which is good. And you got the progress bar too. So yeah, I've been updating this. Do you recommend Frithy's Windows guide? I haven't looked through his recent ones at all. I haven't really followed Frithy for 5 years, what he's been up to. Just been testing my own stuff. So I recommend me. That's what I recommend. So anyway, that's timer resolution. And obviously this is Windows 11. Somebody's just done a delivery. Thank you. Okay. All right, I think we're done. So yeah, if you want the latest pack, grab it off my Discord. Try that, and it should make things better. But give me feedback if there's any issues, or you don't like the mouse response times or something. Let me know, and I can fine tune them for you. But yeah, everything's looking good to me on this. I think I've got any windows. I mean, we could do a quick update to the new driver, but I don't think it's out on. I don't think it's out yet. The new driver on MV CleanStorm. Probably be tomorrow before that's out updated. I think there are any updates. Yeah, so that's my driver I'm running at the moment, but obviously there's a new one out a couple of hours ago. So all up to date, and then press pause as many times as you can, and then that won't interrupt your gameplay for 5 weeks or so, for a month. Let's go. I think we're good to go. Recommend the guide, yes. Recommend the guide. Now, in my guide and my pack, there are only things that have a positive, beneficial, proven improvement to performance. If it's margin of error, makes no difference, makes it worse, I got rid of it. So I'm only doing the things that actually help. Right, any more questions? Otherwise, I'm going to stop this stream and restart just a Twitch stream for some gaming. Some 480 FPS, rock solid gaming. Anyone? Going once. Going twice. Yes, my monitor's 480 hertz. That's why I limit my FPS to 480 FPS. That way, it it matches them and it's super smooth. Super smooth. Yes, but O's. That's it for me. Thank you. Cool. I might just leave the stream going, and then it'll still, my stuff will still be at the start of the VOD link. So why haven't I got audio? Restarting PC. If you're trying to match FPS without the guide, expecting it may not work. Yeah. Flags as versus. Huh? I'm not sure what you're asking. Murph, ask on the Discord if you've got more follow-up questions. I'm going to play some games now. I'll try and answer you on the Discord as soon as I can. Cool. All right. We need a Monsieur Le Mike. Bonjour, Le Mike.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, not bad, mate.
So you followed along, okay?
No, because I didn't know there was another version. So by the time I'd done that, you were.
No.
I'll do it. I'll do it later. Don't worry.
Well, the only extra things really in the new version, the keyboard and mouse stuff. So that doesn't affect you anyway.
Right, mate. Enjoy yourselves.
You're lot shopping in the ridiculous heat.
Oh, they've just walked through the door now.
Oh, they've just got back. Bright
They've
red.
just got back now.
What's Yu's going to play?
Yeah, so the movement wise isn't drastically that different and what have you. To be honest, you don't go as high, you don't go as far, you don't slide as much and what have you, but it's still pretty decent.
Okay.
The only thing
thing I was worried about was the stamina running out quicker.
Yeah. That does run out, but you get used to it. You know what I mean?
Okay. You just have to save it just for when you're in fights.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that affected me the most was the double revolver, the wrecker, because I was double pumping with that. So
I wasn't doing that. So that's all right.
But you can still do it if you use a wrecker, revolver, or whatever it's called, with a sentinel pump or the new sweeper shotgun. You can still do it then.
Right.
Well, I just been using the just the one.
Come on, Mrs. Wembley. Let's get him. Is there a slight delay in broadcast, or is it just me? Yeah, just refresh your broadcast. 480 FPS, ladies and gentlemen. Nice cool GPU, nice cool CPU, even though it's 31 degrees outside. Where's those going?
Absolutely boiling up here today.
I'd love to find a pro Fortnite player that is running a solid 480 FPS or 500 FPS. Mr. Savage was trying to run 500 FPS, but he wasn't getting. It was dropping down to hundreds all the time, so that doesn't count. Right. I thought there were some guns in. There's no guns. Alright. How's it over there already? 480 FPS. I still don't have a gun. Ugh, why does it do that? Why does everything have to shake when you open one of these weird things? So far. Rocket launcher. We got people there. They feel so smooth right now. Match gifted back. Match gifted bliss of subscription. What's going to be, mate? Batch is adopting bliss.
Martin paid.
What's that?
Oh, that's my wife. Hang on, I'll have to. I can't bloody take it in a second. We're fighting the bloody queen.
O's, make sure you get the boons. Make sure you pick up the A's and the B boons. You ran 2A hex using the new performance mode. Am I doing the right thing? Depends what your CPU is. I actually found 1A was better than 2A. For the new mode. Yeah, but so I was getting better results for 2A on the main DX12, but for this stripped down one, the performance mode, I'm actually finding 1A is better. Oh, Batch is now gifting Murph subs. Thanks, Batch. I mean, there's not much in it, to be honest with you, but there's not much in it. But 1A is pretty solid, and the my new basic scripts thing that uses 1A by default. So, but yeah, I put a Win32PS directory in my pack, so you could just like double-click the different reg files to get different results. Nice and quick, and you don't have to reboot. You just double-click them and test. They immediately kick in. So if you want to switch between the two really quickly, that's the best way of doing it.
Just gonna make a quick call back in a set.
Ooh. Right. Yeah, it's a good instant. Oh, blimey, yeah, it gets rid of your stamina almost immediately with one jump. Yeah, he's real. Why is he throwing... That's weird. Why was he throwing... He was a crown player? No way. Where's his team? Bats, you meant to be gifting everybody subs. You're accidentally doing it. It's very kind of you. Yeah, that does hardly anything now, that medallion. I think the slippy slidey one's probably better. I think they've just nerfed the jumpy one. I mean, you've got to wait for all your stamina to come back. And then if you're in a fight, I suppose you could... 3 times. Maximum 3 times jumping backwards and forwards over somebody's head. Maximum. Maybe only 2. Oh, got people. I got the ammo just right. Went through there. Jesus, have I got a tyre out of it? Lamborghini handles like rubbish. Where is everybody? I want to know, where did they go? Oops, probably should have boosted a bit earlier there. I was out of the boost. Oh, there we go. Real. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh. Oh, fuck. We've got the coin in front of us here. What was that from? Where was that from? That was 2 of them. Where are the other 2? I'm going to flare gun. Oh, nothing.
Bloody one here.
There's 2 of these kills. Make sure you're picking up these things. These letter things, because they give you a load more abilities, these Oh, that's the point. If we get to S+, we'll have infinite stamina anyway.
Yeah, when I was playing duos earlier, I very rarely got to S+.
You shooting at?
They've nerfed it. So you can't hardly get it to it.
There's go down there. Oh, who's that? Jesus, I think somebody about there somewhere. I think, unless it was coming from this way. Oh, no, it was coming from that way. Sometimes you just can't tell which way the bullets are coming from. Yeah, only 2 watching on YouTube now. I'm going to stop the YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, jump over to Twitch. If you want to continue watching, I'm stopping the YouTube. There's only 2 people watching now. Ellie?